So our first story is coming from gamingbible.com, talking about a very, very shocking statistic about the player base of Halo Infinite on Steam specifically, namely that it's lost 98% of its players. That's especially concerning when you consider that it's a free-to-play game. The multiplayer component is available on Steam. If you wanted the campaign, you would have to do so through the Xbox app. But I think for most people, Steam is just way more accessible than the Xbox app to begin with. That's a whole different conversation. But nonetheless, a first person shooter of a major franchise has lost 98% of its player base, which is just extremely concerning. We talked so many times on the pod about just how we've watched the franchise that we know and love just slip away from us. So Bruno, Brad and I both know we've got a rant in the works from the Halo super fans. So tell the people why you're mad.
I just think the fans deserve more than what they've been trickling in. And you can make 1,000 excuses at the end of the day. They're short staffed. They, whatever. I don't know. There's a ton of things floating around. But I think at the end of the day, it just makes me sad. It makes me sad that, this uh, pinnacle of first person shooter genre breaking game has fallen so far, and I think the player base says it all. There's a guy on YouTube that gives updates on Halo Infinite almost daily.
Got that niche covered, huh?
He really does. He's got like 200,000 subscribers and 220,000 subscribers, and he has way more views, like 50,000 views, 30,000 views per video, regarding like updates for the game. So I think the community's there. They want a better game, and I think they've just lost hope in this iteration. I don't think that they're pushing the battle pass in the best way. I don't think that they're going about it the right way in terms of what they're producing and how much content is actually in the game. And it was a huge letdown, I think, for a lot of us, especially Brad and I. And I think a lot of people have just kind of washed their hands clean with it, and they're like, I'm not really interested in playing it anymore. And at this point, with such a niche minority of people playing it, 2% of the original player base, these are the diehard fans. I don't want to play against these people. I really don't want to play against these people, on Xbox or anything like that. And this is obviously the Steam numbers, right? This isn't the console numbers. There's probably more on the console, arguably,
No doubt.
but it can't be that much.
Right.
It really can't. It just the fun was sucked out of Halo.
Yeah.
Halo used to be this great party game. It used to be the Fortnite. Right? Like, and I sound so old. Like, it used to be the Fortnite back in my day.
Yeah.
Fortnite, and now Master Chief's in Fortnite, right? So,
right.
We've come full circle. We've seriously come full circle with this. Brad, why? I mean, you're not going to pick it up ever again. I don't foresee you ever downloading and playing it again. Why? And or what could bring you back?
That's a good question, Bruno. I think there's two things I want to acknowledge. The other thing we don't have numbers on is how many Game Pass people have it downloaded still, right? We have to keep that in mind. I am not letting it take up space on my system right now because I want to have space for other games. Yeah. It's not the most storage friendly game either. I think if they were ever to drop a more immersive co-op experience, I would dive back in with you to try that out. I think that would be the one thing that would bring me back to take a look at it again, have another playthrough. But I don't know. We've been talking lately. We've the last 6 months, the beginning of 2023, it's been such a strong year for gaming and the diversity of games out there that when you have so many setbacks, it's really hard to regain the momentum, regain your footing, regain your presence amongst gamers because they've moved on to other things, right? I mean, talk about, just not having any like staying value in people's systems. They're moved on to other things. I mean, we've just talked about we're playing racers, we're playing older games, we're playing some nostalgia stuff, right? We have so much to digest that it's not like you have to commit to the 45-day-old steak because it's the only thing you've got in the fridge, right? You can go out and get something for free or on your Game Pass or on like whatever platforms you have. It's really easy to get something on in your hands and try something new. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's got to be something monumental to bring myself and others back to even just load the game. Like I have completely washed my mind of it. It's not in my daily thinking when it comes to gaming. Like it just isn't something I'm like thinking about anymore at
Yeah.
all.
And a big problem with this is that even though newer patches and seasons have brought, some interesting new concepts, of course, the Forge is now pretty much alive and kicking the way that they had mostly intended for it to be. So a lot of community-made maps and modes are available. That just the damage was already done, and there's just no amount of marketing that can really redeem it. And I think it was very telling when the Xbox event here that happened over
Yeah.
the summer was simply a no-show for the flagship franchise for Halo. That's concerning. I was looking, Bruno, at on Reddit because every now and then I'm not subscribed to the Halo subreddit, but Halo will pop up on my feed because it pops up as a post on the gaming
Yeah.
subreddit. Huge subreddit, and about any possible gaming topic you can think of, and yet Halo still pops up. There was a photo that a bunch of guys got together, high school buddies, that had grown up and moved on, got back together and did a Halo 3 LAN party, right? Doritos, Mountain Dew, pizza, the whole 9 yards. I think even had some CRTVs just to get the full, yeah, chef's kiss. But it's great to see that. But that was trending. People were talking about it. Halo and LAN parties really go hand in hand in pop culture history. And also, an article, a conversation came out that was getting a ton of comments about, what was your favorite Halo game of yore? We talk about Halo in the past tense instead of the present tense, and I'm just looking. I'm like, man, the show is a flop, the game is a flop. It's just going to be a lot of pressure for the head of. I think Phil Spencer knows, like, you've got to put out something big that's Halo related in the next, like, what, 4 to 5 years, or like I don't know, man. I'm almost out of
I
things to
I
say.
still honestly, you know, the best hope that I think Xbox has, and I really hope this falls on the ears of somebody who can work this up the chain magically, and Phil Spencer's ears get a little tickle, and maybe he says, "We're already working on it, Bruno," and I go, I go, woo,
That's all it
woo, woo. Okay, I want a Gears of War Halo crossover. Why not? We see look at Brad shake his head, but
He's
It's
pushing
never
for
gonna
it, man.
happen. It's never gonna happen.
Here's the thing that I think
You've got too many Halo purists who will think that's diluting the brand. It's never gonna happen.
you might be right. You might be right. But that's not my point. My point is, look at Fortnite and the amount of crossovers and licensed content that they have within the game. If you had said early on in Fortnite's, development, that you would one day be swinging around as Spider-Man while, fighting Darth Vader with a lightsaber, people would call you crazy. They'd say, that's a rich dream. That's something that would never happen. But here's a company that owns two of some of the best shooters out there, And why not do a crossover of some sort that's out of the box, like a battle royale? Why not? Why not do the first third person versus first person battle royale game? You know, I think it would work. I think it would work. But
I'm on the
that's
opposite
just,
side of this coin. I am on
you
the
don't
opposite side of
you
this
wouldn't
coin.
download that game. Just tell me now
No,
you
I
wouldn't
wouldn't.
download.
Because here's
I
why.
would.
They've already tried the Epic formula and it didn't work. I think they have to go back to square one.
I mean, if
They
you
have to
call
go
that
back to their
trying the
roots.
Epic formula, I think that's
They had a battle pass. They tried to incorporate things of that nature for a live service game, and it didn't work. You need to get back to what your roots are, get back to what you're good at, provide a fantastically beautiful, fun campaign to play, and provide the classic multiplayer experience that we've loved and enjoyed over the years. When you have that foundation in that lore that you are now trying to change, it's always going to be a letdown because you're either comparing it to what it used to be or what it's trying to be from something else, and it's neither. And so both crowds, it's stuck in the middle. Both crowds are unhappy. The people who love Fortnite are upset because it's not Fortnite, and the people who love Halo are upset because it's not Halo. It's something in between. And so I don't think you can do that and be successful. I think you have to go back and get back to your roots and really put out a brand new version of something that's got fresh maps, but it's that same old style multiplayer gameplay that we love and enjoy, that was competitive and fun. And you don't mess around with skins, you don't mess around with a battle pass. You just, like, you can have things you can unlock, but like maybe it's achievement based again. Like maybe you go back to what worked. Like when you're struggling and floundering, you don't keep trying different things. You go back to what you had success with and kind of stabilize yourself. And I think that's where Halo needs to go.
Well, two sides of the same coin, as always, guys. You may agree on hats, but you disagree on certain things. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I will say that to me, as a fan of both genres, it wouldn't matter what came out. I would be into getting it. So, any type of crossover I think would be some amazing thing. I think that even if it was kart racing, even if it was warthogs versus the little digger machine like they have in Rocket, what was it, Rocket League? Yeah, they got that in Rocket League.
Yeah, that's in Rocket League.
Yeah, it's in Rocket League. So, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Like, that's the better approach. I think obviously that's the purest approach, and that's going to resonate with each of those individual audiences. But I would argue that Halo Infinite's campaign and open world was really nice. I liked going around and being able to approach things in a different way.
You couldn't replay a mission though. Once you got through certain points, you were done. Like you couldn't go back. So I mean, there's things I'd love to improve on. I agree with you. The campaign was strong, but it just, you need to get back to like what you do well. I think this was an experiment. You learned a lot. Cut your losses, get back to what you learned, incorporate maybe a new thing or two, what worked, but get back to what you do well.
Quit the Bill.